Hello, everybody. This is A Talk on the Table. I am Peter Guzzino.
I am Danny Frye.
And this time we have a great special guest here, Mike Ventola. He's the epitome of musicians in Busan.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Danny.
Hey there.
Hey,
how
Peter,
you doing?
Thanks for having me, and thank you for the very kind epitaph. I don't know if it's quite accurate, but I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, if it's an epitaph, we'll put it on your gravestone sometime.
Oh.
But I don't
The one
know.
that goes first?
Epithet? No.
Epitaph or epitaph?
Epicac, that's what it's called.
Epicac, yes, that's the poison stuff, the black liquid stuff you drink throw up.
Really? Well, that's... I'm
Some
trying to
people call
think
it
of...
Jägermeister.
Dr. Rush, I think he prescribed something like that during the whole yellow fever epidemic in 1793, but I'm not certain. Anyway, that aside, we are having Mike here on with us because I was thinking about asking him some questions about his music career and also the bands here in Busan, a typical mix of locals and expats in South Korea. And
Good.
also maybe some of the different musical influences he's had here while living in Busan.
Cool.
So, yeah, he also works at the local English radio station as well. So I'm sure
Actually,
he's...
no, I don't work there anymore.
Oh, you don't work there anymore.
I'm
Okay.
in conversation about having a show next season.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a show about songwriting, where I'll go through pretty much popular music from the earliest 20th century through to today, and then I can talk about the show later. Who knows if it's even going to happen. I used to work there, though, where I would write a song every week, but it was a tough gig.
But how long have you been here, Mike?
This is my 5th year here. Yeah, I came here at the end of 2015, and then it was supposed to be a year. Came back for a second year because I had that radio job. Which was great. I'd love to do something like that again. And then after that year, I was ready to go, but I met my ex-girlfriend, and then she wanted to stay another year, and then another year, and now we've since broken up. But yeah, now it's this year has been really just focused on putting stuff into production. I made a short film that I'm doing the sound editing for earlier this year, and I've been recording music throughout the year.
Good.
Playing live, of course, playing live.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Danny, I guess we've been here for over 10 years now?
I've been here 11. You said something about 15 or something?
Yeah, going on 15 at the end of this year.
Wow.
And I think it's pretty fair to say that we've seen some pretty big bands come through this town and go.
Remember Paco Lambro.
Paco Lambro. I think it was Poco Lambro.
Yeah, Anthony Garcia and Violet Lee.
Yeah, and I think nowadays Violet plays in Texas.
And Anthony just made his first solo album.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
His first, really.
Yes, his first solo album. It's called Acres of Diamonds.
Because I never met him, but everyone who talks about him talks about how great a musician.
Oh yeah, yes, he was. It would have been great. It would have been great to see you guys together.
I believe he did sing. Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot
He was a singer, piano player, guitarist. He did a bit of
And songwriter. Yeah.
Yeah, songwriter too. Yeah. We also had One Drop East too.
Oh yeah, that's right. One Drop East. That was quite a band. You had people from I think 4 or 5 different continents.
Yeah. Well, One Drop East with most of the bands here, they're teachers that know how to play music. These were musicians who knew how to teach. That's made them different.
I love bands where you can dance to their music.
Oh yeah.
And they had a great sound for that. I mean, it was like reggae based, but it was very, lots of horns and things like that.
Yeah.
A little bit of jazz influence.
They had an album out a few years before they left.
Like a great local band that I've never played a show with, but I've hung out with them and worked with them in capacity with my partner Tim Paw. Mm-hmm. Songwriting partner, not life partner, though. One can dream.
Well, it's 2020.
Yeah, he directed some music videos for them, and I helped a little bit with like production, I guess.
Right.
But they're great because they're a rock band that's synth-based, and you can really dance to their music. A lot of rock now is kind of like, it's almost like an art show. You just kind of stand and watch, or go like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
or
it's
like this, and it's just like, I really like, bouncing around and grooving. Yeah, I really wanted, and still do want to get a band together. I guess I did in a way, with Gino Bravo,
Yeah, Gino.
with Robert Coates and Andre Chornoki. We went by the title Speakers, and we were kind of just a pickup band, and we would do R&B and funk and reggae down at Old 55.
Yeah.
Did you ever make it out to see us?
I did. You did a lot of Dead covers.
Yeah, we did some Grateful Dead as well. We did Scarlet Begonias and Shakedown Street. But yeah, that was a band I really wanted to get together of just like, let's just do music people can dance to. And ideally I wanted to get, because there's a lot of great singers and musicians in town that don't do anything because it's hard to get a group together. It's hard to like keep an ensemble where it's more than just for one showcase where you actually play consistently. So I was hoping with these guys, we can play it and then we can have singers, female singers come in, either background or doing, harmonies together or just having a little showcase for them that we could do every week, or dancers. That would be so fun, of like choreographed dancers in the audience.
all those different people from different walks of life and places around the world coming together and playing music, But that just seems to make me wonder about the different styles of music each person brings from his or her own country, would you say that like American and Canadian kind of tastes in music are pretty much about the same? Or do you notice a little difference there?
We all get the same content, right? I mean, everyone listens to the same music on the same streaming services and things like that. But any, recording artist that comes through, I've never met an American or a Canadian, if they're fans of music and they know different kinds, where they're like, we would never listen to that here or anything. That doesn't make any sense.
I seem to recall One Drop East, when they were here, maybe I guess 10, 11 years ago now.
Yeah.
They had a lot of reggae-influenced songs, and they did a lot of covers. And I think most of them were from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Right?
They were, yeah.
Well, the singer was from New Zealand. I don't know about the rest. From what I met from the horn section, I thought they were mostly Americans. But what do I know? I don't know.
Years ago, this was in 2006, they had a few other different musicians, and they played it up near PNU, near Busan here in Busan. And I know they just started playing the song Barefooting, and what was my old favorite songs. So I just got up, took off my shoes. I don't even know if I took off my socks or not, but I just got up and started dancing. And they invited me up on stage, and that was
I remember we were just hanging out at the beach one time in Hyundai, and there was a band out there, and we were sort of egging you on because you had your harmonica with you, and you decided to make a fool of yourself, play your harmonica with the band.
Oh, come on! I didn't make a fool out of myself.
Did this band invite you up, or you just kind of
He goes on up there. He's got a harmonica. He can play.
No, the One Drop Beats. I think they actually did get me up on stage so I could dance, but I don't know if I had a harmonica with me at the time.
Cool.
Yeah, but they had kind of styles that were mixing and mingling from New Zealand, and I guess the original what was that? Where does ska and reggae actually kind of come from? The Caribbean? Jamaica, yeah.
Jamaica, yeah.
And maybe a little of that influence there too.
For the musicians I've played with here, I've played. My drummer currently is Australian. I think I played with some Kiwis. I played with a South African guy, David Glover. He goes by Tamagotchi Jesus. He's got like kind of a satirical rap persona that's quite fun. And then a slew of Americans, like I said, with Gino and Robert. Some Irish people. Obviously played with Koreans. Never like in a band, but we've jammed together.
Right.
And then some other Canadians, some fellow Canadians, like Tim Pa. He's from PEI. And just lots of players, lots of people to play with. I really love having a variety of musicians to play with. Like when it comes to songwriting, I focus in with Tim for our band's soundtrack.
Right.
But there's nothing that helps you grow as a musician and playing with other people. There's a lot of people I meet who are very, I'll call it focused, but it's not really that. Like, of this is my style, this is what I do, I want you to do this, I want you to just contribute to this, but really growing is when you play with other people and you have to move outside of your comfort zone, open yourself up to different suggestions, and, don't take other people's personalities personally. Whenever I'm recording, right, and people have different mindsets on this, but I usually have an idea of what I want to do. I go in there and do it, and I listen back, and I think, is that the best way it could go? And then try this idea, try that, and I want to hear other people's ideas, because just because it came from me doesn't mean it's great. It's kind of like, if it's your first thought you have an attachment to it, and there's a lot of times that's good. And then with the different musicians you play, have it grow, have the sound of it change, so that it's not only just like there's movement to it, but it's personally, I think, more fulfilling when you change it, because you've got your recording, you've got your standard sound.
Well,
Totally.
Yeah. Have you been able to do any recording in your own little room here?
I record stuff on my phone all the time, and then I listen to it and whittle songs down kind of that way. But I like working with different producers. Like, I like having a person push the button to record, and then they listen and they give me feedback. I would really, and I must, get into just doing it all myself.
Slivers of light come shining through the cracks on all sides. Opening music within if anyone decides what it means to be.
It's awesome that we can just do this by ourselves now. But it's also, because we're removed from studios, it's harder to, if you get signed, you're going to have to be going down a certain...
I was actually wondering about your musical influences, like before moving to Korea and then since.
Well, when I grew up, my family, I have 3 sisters, so I listened to a lot of No Doubt.
Okay.
And my dad loved Shania Twain, and my mom loved the Guess Who. They say, my mom's like, I love John Lennon and the Beatles. I never remember listening to the Beatles growing up, ever. But it was kind of nice, though. Yeah. Well, I Guess Who I heard a lot of. When I was 13, I wasn't that interested in music because it was late 90s when I was a kid, so it was like Backstreet Boys, and, when I was young, I didn't really care for rap. But then I heard Nirvana, and was like, whoa, this first time I was like, this is so cool. This is so cool. And then from there, I kind of siphoned into their musical influences, so I went, through classic rock or more like kind of lesser known or weird 80s groups. And then as a teenager, I fell in love with hip hop and rap, and I started listening to the Beatles myself. And because I always thought the Beatles were just pop, overrated. It's embarrassing, corny, cheesy. And then I got into the actual songwriting, and it really was like, wow. I loved Jeff Buckley and Radiohead as a teenager, and then when I got into my 20s, when I was in university, I discovered Elliott Smith, and that opened up another world of songwriting to me, of really picking up on the tradition of, making really interesting choices in a very palatable pop sound, like the Beatles did. And then recently, Mac DeMarco. I love Mac's music. I'd say, John Lennon, Kurt Cobain, Elliott Smith, Mac DeMarco. I played with Gino a lot. Gino really helped me in terms of just kind of being more professional and precise in playing live. And whereas for the most part, I was like, when I first came here, it's like, well, it sounds good enough. Tim and Gino were both like, well, try to get it to sound exactly like it is on the record. And then when you do that, I realized, like, wow, there's so many cool little tricks that they're doing in this song, and now I can use that in my own songwriting.
See, I don't really like that when you go see a band and you play the song exactly like the record. I don't like that. I rather the band members be original. If they want to do a cover, that's fine, but make it their own.
Well, do it because it's original. Don't do it because you're being lazy and you're just doing the bare bones of it. You know,
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
but
Put your heart
I agree
into
with
it.
you. Sometimes it's cool if it's like, wow, that sounds exactly like Pink Floyd. But for the most part, yeah, I want to hear you. I don't want to hear you copying someone. I want to hear what you sound like.
Like Leadbelly. Everybody does Leadbelly songs, but everybody does it in a different way. Like Black Betty was an old Leadbelly song that he did. You have so many different versions. They all sound different.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's one song he has called Mr. Fannin Street, or Fannin Street, Mr. Tom Hughes Town. And the chorus of it, if I can just quickly show. Told my mama, mama, you don't know. Mr. Tom Hughes Town gonna be the death of me. And I thought that would sound so cool as like Zeppelin, like with like, follow me down, yeah. And it does that thing.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
sometimes, I mean,
Zeppelin changed a lot of their
yeah.
Well,
So
you-
trying to write songs because I don't have like me playing acoustic and stuff like that. I think is generally what I'm more known for. But I really like loud rock, electric guitar music. When I'm writing a song, I'll think like, okay, how would Radiohead approach this melody? How would Neil Young approach this melody? And then, try to imagine what like get into that style of it without just copying their melodies.
Right.
But into the streamline of thinking about it that way.
right.
And it's kind of like, how would, Radiohead cover Neil Young? What would that sound like? Let's try something like that, or just as an example. Because then it ends up still sounding like you, like I still have my own voice, and then there'll be something where it's like, well, Radiohead tends to use a lot of like minor dissonant things, which gives it that kind of heavier, sad sound, whereas
Right.
Neil Young is usually quite open major chords. So like, well, Neil wouldn't do that. It just doesn't sound exactly like a Neil Young song, but I would do that. So I'm going to do that instead. And then you're not copying anymore. You're just doing the things that you like.
Well, you've been here for a few years, and Danny and I have been. But I was wondering about your musician's take on maybe the future of the local sound here, maybe as a representative of any like music scene that has a lot of different influences, from different countries, different languages and styles. What do you think of the future of Busan right now?
Well, I think since it's expats coming in and out, it'll always be kind of singer-songwriters or guys that play covers.
Covers.
In terms of like local acts of Koreans, not really sure. I think there's interesting stuff going on here, like with Band 88. And I would love to see the foreigners and Koreans work more together, because it seems to kind of be that there's different camps, and a lot of the Korean bands, their audiences are like foreigners, and yet I've yet to see Korean bands that actually collaborate with foreigners in like a real and meaningful way, other than playing at their venue.
I remember 3 years ago I saw you at a bar, and you told me I think you were drinking at the time.
Probably.
And
It's a bar.
you told me name a song I could play it. So I said okay. Somebody wrong song,
Oh gosh.
and you said I'll learn it and play it next time.
God.
You still waiting?
Have you learned that song yet?
Hey.
Well,
I don't
this is
even
the
know if I ought to try to
this
sing
is
it.
The other downside, I think, of living in Korea is that this is the alcohol drinking capital of the world, and I've definitely had my struggles with alcoholism here. But I haven't learned that song. I completely forgot about that. It was 3 years ago.
I wasn't holding you to it.
No, I know. It's humbling, but I do try to generally talk to people and say, like, what would you like me to learn?
Yeah.
Because it's something
Yeah.
I wouldn't probably learn on my own. But then I listen to it and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll listen to it on my ride to work and see if I can learn it for you there, Danny.
Okay, well,
He's got other stuff,
I
too.
wasn't holding you by it or anything.
Yeah, you just have to call me out in your podcast for,
Oh, yeah.
a pompous, I'll know any song. I'll learn it. in
He's a
3 years
blowhard. He
of
doesn't know what he's talking about.
You can play it right now. Yeah.
Actually, I would like to hear you play a song that you've been working on. before we kind of finish our session today?
Sure thing.
Yeah.
All right, so
We probably should
I
get
want
the
you
mic.
to be in this music video.
Oh, okay.
All right. Jeez. Okay, well, let's do it. So, yeah, this song's called The Ballad of Old Boxer. I recorded it at a studio of a pretty well-known local band, but that completely fell through. Not cool. You know what you did, guys. That was not cool. Or Guy. I shouldn't blame the whole band. And it's, you know the song Where Did You Sleep Last Night?
Yeah.
By Lead Belly? I thought of like, the night before, the argument that they had of the guy wanting her to stay. So I wrote this and I tried to do a... Anyway, I'll just play it. You can just hold this right there, yeah. Hey, my girl, where are you going? Hopefully not too far away. If you don't return by morning, you'll have to find another place to stay. Hey, my girl, don't leave me hanging. You keep hanging round my head. If we can't come through this evening, have to pass over all that's unsaid. Hey, my girl, I feel you leaving. I just can't believe it's today. If you don't love me tomorrow, remember how we felt yesterday.
All right.
Wow, that was impressive.
Thanks. I made
Was-
quite
was
a
the-
few mistakes,
With the
but
mic, was
Yeah, let me get the
that's what you
mic
get
out
for
there.
performing
Oh,
in the
I see.
morning or early afternoon.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's been great having you in my apartment, and
This
okay,
is
thank you.
your
Thank you for
great
having
place,
us.
yeah.
yeah, thank you for interviewing me as well,
I'm-
No problem, no problem.
or just talking with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually am a little hungry. Hang on a second. Could you hand me that cheeseburger behind you?
Is this
This whole thing, it's
Yeah!
been there for months. But,
That's okay. I've got a strong stomach.
well, all right.
It's a good pillow. I like this thing. This is
Yeah, it's okay.
Here, you know, instead of shaking hands, I've been trying to do this with friends where I snap my fingers and move
Snap.
in. So instead of fist bump, we move into fist bump and then just snap and pull out. All right, so let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, that's been a talk on the table. This is Mike Ventola, and this is Danny Frye, and yours truly, Peter Guzzino. On behalf of T&D Productions, I would like to thank Mike Ventola for joining us, And also, those of you out there in an expat music scene, what do you think of the local bands? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Don't forget to hit that bell icon. And follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Links to the music will be posted below. Thanks for watching.